Y'all, if you are a millennial that feels like your Gen X parents failed you, tap in. We need to talk. So, y'all, I am sitting here at my favorite park, or my favorite spot in my favorite park, and I have really been contemplating a lot these last few days. Like, I'm talking about self reflection and shadow work have been a motherfucker. Okay. So I've been back in Kansas City for almost 2 years at this point, and I really found that when I came back to my hometown, I started to shrink myself. I started to shut down. I started to feel trapped. I started to feel suffocated. I started to feel like I couldn't breathe. And in doing my self reflection and doing some introspection, over the past several weeks, I've learned that it's because being in this environment does not make me feel loved, safe, or supported, especially by my own family. And I think that can be hard to process when you come back to a place where your inner child, your childhood wounds and trauma are really triggered, and you don't feel like you have anybody there to help you process those things, to help you heal those things. It made me come to the realization that, like, Gen X as a parental like group have failed their millennial children in a myriad of ways. And I feel like there's always 1,000 excuses that we allow them to have because of their parents. We know that our grandparents and our great grandparents were not the most emotionally available. We know that they were not the most caring, loving, nurturing individuals. Especially if they were growing up in the era of segregation, Jim Crow, just racism, sexism, all the isms that they had to deal with. We get it. Rightfully so, that they wouldn't have time to really teach their children anything other than, bitch, just survive. Okay? At this point, the whole world is attacking us. All we're trying to do is make it to another generation. We don't have time to process our trauma. We don't have time to deal with our feelings and emotions. We do not have time to learn how to create boundaries or to, learn how to handle confrontation. Bitch, everything is because I said so. Do as I say, not as I do. There's just so much trauma around being raised in that way. Doesn't matter what generation you come from, but I really feel like millennials, there is a special, like, fucked upness that we are the first generation to really decide that we want better for ourselves so that we can give better to future generations that are coming after us. Whether you have children or not, doesn't matter. If you are healing yourself, you are still changing the structure and the epigenetics of your family's DNA, of your legacy, of your ancestors and your bloodline. So I'm going to be creating a series that might ruffle a motherfucker. Listen, it's gonna ruffle some feathers, okay? It's gonna ruffle some feathers, but it's also going to create a beautiful space for healing for millennials, because I still feel like a lot of people blame us for turning out a certain kind of way when we are the generation that's like holding our parents accountable for fucking us up, for giving us trauma, for like not being accountable to the actions and decisions that they made that we still actively are dealing with and healing from. So the series is going to be called Realizations in Ways Gen X Failed Their Millennial Children. I think that's very cut and dry. I think we know that what we're going to be talking about. And I would love to get your honest opinions and comments about things that we need to talk about as millennials that our Gen X parents need to know. So if you feel like your parents fucked you up and that nobody has held them accountable, they gonna get held accountable today, baby. So make sure that you drop a comment and like let me know what you feel you want your parents or other Gen Xers, just Gen Xers in general, to know about how they failed you. Because this is a very important conversation that could create a lot of healing within our community, even if it's just us that's doing the work. Because, baby, that's what we're used to. We're used to being the ones that are doing the work when everybody else is not. So, do not allow fear, judgment, or shame to keep you from participating in this conversation if you know that you need healing in this area. If you are afraid to call out your parents, then that in and of itself is something that warrants a discussion of why. Why do you feel that way? Me, what I discovered is that as somebody that is born underneath, the Leo zodiac archetype, loyalty is built into my DNA. I give loyalty to people who have not earned it and frankly don't deserve it. And I give my loyalty to people that continue to show me that they don't deserve the loyalty that I'm giving to them because they have never given it to me or they are not reciprocating the loyalty that I've given to them, especially my own mother and father. I have protected them. I have kept, you could say their secrets of who they really are at their core, because of the image that they have in society. And I'm just not going to do that anymore. I feel like healing has to occur. And if I have to be the one to create the safe space for millennials to feel heard, seen, valued, loved, supported, understood, I'm happy to do that because we need it. Like, we are the next generation of leaders, of, critical thinkers, of, future. Like, we are the future. Like, millennials are the ones that are coming up behind baby boomers and Gen X to clean up all the fucked up shit that they did. So it's time for us to really take our healing seriously and stop giving them passes. Period. Like, I'm done giving my family a pass. And my sister said something beautiful. We were voice noting back and forth, and she was telling me that she saw a quote somewhere, and I'm going to paraphrase, something along the lines of, if you wanted me to write better about you in my story or my history, then you should have treated me better for me to be able to do that. So that is essentially, this is the repercussions of how Gen X treated their children is coming back to bite them in the ass. And that's just what it is. So millennials, don't feel bad or don't apologize for getting out things that you've been suppressing and holding down, that your inner child is begging you to release, to let go of, to heal, to mend. And if you are the only one that continues to show up in your familial toxic dynamic in a way that is with love and understanding and compassion and wanting to heal that, and the other party isn't reciprocating that or isn't wanting to be a part of that, no matter how much they say that they do, if they're not taking accountability, then do it for you. At the end of the day, in 2025, we're choosing ourselves, not because we want to, but because we have to. Because it is imperative to us being the most loving, genuine, authentic version of ourselves that creates a life of happiness, fulfillment, peace, love, joy, and success. So millennials, join me in the comments. Let me know, what do you want your Gen X parents to know? What are the ways that they failed you? Let's talk about it.